Fate Grand Order is finally out in English, and new players are going to find it a little daunting, so I'm here to lend a hand. Now this isn't a tutorial, so I'll skip the baby mode lessons, like using experience cards. No, this is macro level admin stuff, the sort of thing where the game will punish you for making early mistakes. If you get these 10 things right, you can learn the rest at a leisurely pace. Number 1. Don't be afraid to reroll for a better starter combination. Shortly into the main story, you're given a free 10 roll, with a guaranteed 4-star servant selected from a narrow pool. Whoever you get, you're stuck with them for a long time, so make sure you can at least tolerate your new partner. Now they've made a change from the old game, and you'll be able to pick up a servant on top of the one you get in your free roll. It's from the same pool, so if you just want to get up and running, you can pick Heracles in addition to your random one. Your mid-game experience will change a lot, depending on whether you roll a gold mine like him, garbage like Siegfried, or one of the more situational characters. While some of the shittier servants got strengthening quests to bring their power level up, you won't be able to complete those as a new player. Heracles aside, 3 others might be worth considering. Firstly, Emmy is a strong pick for mid to late game content, usually gets a bonus during events, and has a good noble phantasm for farming. Secondly, Carmilla benefits from favorable matchups in the early game, a decent set of debuffs, and a noble phantasm strong against the many female bosses you'll encounter. Thirdly, Tamamo Cat was my Japanese account starter, and she's mostly worse than Heracles, but she's still a 4-star berserker with a stat line to back it up. She'll be solid throughout the mid-game, but fall apart after that. It's okay though. She's still the ultimate domestic. If you'd rather die than reroll one more time, she's not a bad place to give up, since you'll have other options by the time it matters. If you're feeling especially ambitious, you can complete the first chapter and attempt a 10 roll for a 5-star servant, before rerolling your account. On one hand, you'll get one eventually by doing this. On the other hand, you're dealing with low probabilities, and you're gonna go insane doing the same content over and over. Buyer beware. And yeah, rerolling is a pain in the ass, so you best stop doing this on an emulator, if at all. The details are a little too involved for a tip video, so I recommend looking up a reroll guide for more info. Number 2. Save up for a single servant. Pick your waifu in advance, and don't spend a single quartz until they show up. Also, decide how much you're willing to spend on this game, and commit to that budget. Mobile games like this one are heavily geared towards getting you to spend money, and FGO is especially good at making you want to do it. But before you empty your wallet, just know that you have a 1% chance to roll a 5-star servant on any given roll. The nominal 5-star chance is 5%, but 4% of that goes to craft essences. The odds aren't in your favor, and you'll have to play it with a large volume of rolls. Given how this game's a bit stingy with its quartz, all of this means that you have to pick your fights carefully. I strongly recommend going to the Fate Grand Order wiki, with the appropriate extensions to deal with Wiki's fuckery, and looking at the servant list. Once you find your mana recipient, you have to stay the course. This game likes to tempt players with rate-ups of high-value servants, and then sucker punching them with something they want even more. So until the time is right, keep it in your pants, and keep it in your wallet. Number 3. Smash Mash. While underrated compared to Gaia and Ortega, Mash is a lot better than you might think, so keep her level on par with your party. In general, but especially if you're on a berserker, she can counteract their class weakness with her defense buff, draw aggro from trash, and she's a solid defense against enemy noble phantasms. You can pop her taunt and vulnerability combo against single target ones, and invuln your main damage dealer against AoE. Not only does she scale extremely well in late game, but she also doesn't cost a dime. Her party cost is 0, and as you get more 3, 4, and 5 stars, she's a godsend in that regard. Number 4. Do daily quests to get experience cards, materials, and mana prisms. The 30 and 40 AP ones will be too difficult for new players to complete reliably, but doing the first 2 quests in each category every day will give you a decent supply. If you build up a stock this way, you'll have a lot less heartache down the road. Speaking of which. Number 5. Don't get trapped in the material grind. One of the fastest ways to kill your enthusiasm for a game is to grind the fuck out of it. If you have to do this, do it for your starter or waifu only, and do it when you have the daily quest for the right class. Otherwise wait for events to get them guaranteed. Material drop rates in free quests are pretty bad, and you'll rip your hair out doing it. Number 6. Do your daily friend point roll. Every day you can stick your hand in the garbage pile for some freebies, and if you're lucky you might get some 3-star servants early on. You can also roll with your accumulated points, but after a while you should stop earning your friend points, and save them for event 3-star craft essences. When you should do this depends on your quality of rolls, so you'll have to figure that out for yourself. Number 7. 3-star servants are your friend. Except Saber, Gil, and Geronimo. The Face Day Night ones are especially good, and a lot of 3-stars can stay relevant, even into the late game. Cuchulainn is a gold mine. Wait, am I saying that right? And other recommendations include David, Lu Bu, Uriel, Medea, and Robin Hood. Early on though, you probably won't have much in the way of options. If Gilderay is your only saber, well, bite the pillow. Number 8. Use 1 and 2 stars in the early game, but don't become reliant on them, unless you plan to go all the way. These tend to have stat curves that favor an immediate spike at the cost of poor growth and a low level cap. That said, there are a few notable cases where you might want to bring them to the endgame. Kojou's an absolute beast that massacres a large number of Rider class enemies you encounter in the second chapter. While his growth stalls out after that, he can stay relevant through the Grail system. Every time some ridiculously hard piece of content comes out, there's always some maniac that rips it apart with their max level Kojou and the appropriate support. Strictly speaking, he's not the best servant to Grail, but it's a resource-efficient way of keeping an assassin fielded at all stages of the game. Asterios isn't the great pick in the earlier mid-game, thanks to his stat line and utility Noble Phantasm, but he's actually the darling of theory grafters, because that same quality lets him combo with servants like Merlin to create a scenario where a boss can't physically deal enough damage to your party that any of it sticks past Merlin's regen. Pretty insidious stuff. Anderson and Cursed Armasan are solid choices too, and St. George has the distinction of having the one pawn craft essence worth the damn. If you get the chance, I'd stuff him in the backline to work on that. Number 9. Don't be afraid to burn extra copies of 3-star servants for early mana prisms. Especially in the late game, you'll be rolling in 3 stars from the friend point gacha. They might be rare per roll, but the sheer volume of rolls that you can make pretty much guarantee you being able to MP5 most of them. In the early game, Noble Phantasms will be a luxury for most players, so you shouldn't play around them, unless your team can consistently perform arts chains. I personally recommend using those mana prisms to get summon tickets and gold experience until your servants start hitting their caps faster than you can ascend them. After that, switch from experience to protein and iron. Also be sure to save up for limited craft essences. Aside from personal lesson, I'd say they're worth the price of admission. Number 10. Don't get attached to Saber Lily. Shiny, free, what's not to like? Well, you get what you pay for, and a bit less. Saber Lily is hit with a double whammy of having really shitty stats and having a 4 stars cost to field. Throughout the game, you'll be struggling to keep your total cost under the cap, and if you have to plan around a deadweight Saber, you're gonna be miserable. Let me put it this way. People consider the 3-star Julius Caesar to be a better investment than Saber Lily. Her numbers are that bad. And those were 10 tips for new Fate Grand Order players. I'll be doing a follow-up with intermediate advice, and possibly an exploration of the more micro-oriented parts of the game. Command cards, target selection, and why you should go balls deep into every fight with a team of 5 berserkers. I recommend subscribing so you get those as they come out. In any case, till next time.